Did you know that the KGB once killed a man with a poisoned umbrella on a busy London bridge? September 7, 1978, Georgi Markov walked across Waterloo Bridge to his job at the BBC. The Bulgarian journalist had fled his homeland after criticizing the communist regime on air. A stranger bumped into him. Markov felt a sharp sting in his leg from the man's umbrella. The stranger apologized and disappeared into the crowd. Within hours, Markov developed a high fever. Doctors found a tiny metal pellet embedded in his thigh. No bigger than a pinhead, it contained ricin, one of the deadliest poisons known to man. The umbrella was actually a sophisticated weapon. A spring-loaded mechanism fired the pellet through a tiny hole in the tip. The pellet's surface had microscopic holes filled with ricin and sealed with sugar that dissolved in body heat. For 3 agonizing days, Markov's organs shut down one by one. The ricin destroyed his cells from within. He died in excruciating pain. This was Operation Umbrella, a KGB program that eliminated dissidents across Europe using this horrifying technology, the perfect crime hidden in plain sight. Here are 5 things you didn't know about Rasputin's assassination that prove he was almost impossible to kill. First, the poison that should have killed 10 men didn't even make him sick. Prince Yusupov laced cakes and wine with enough cyanide to drop a horse, but Rasputin kept eating and drinking like nothing happened. Second, when the poison failed, they shot him in the chest at point-blank range. He collapsed, but minutes later, he grabbed his attacker by the throat and tried to strangle him. Third, they beat him with clubs and shot him 3 more times, including once in the head. Even then, he was still moving when they dragged him outside. Fourth, the autopsy revealed water in his lungs, meaning he was still breathing when they threw him into the frozen river. Fifth, here's the shocking truth. The conspiracy involved members of the royal family and British intelligence. They needed him dead to save the monarchy, and it took everything they had to finish the job. Did you know a man was murdered with one of the most expensive substances on Earth? Alexander Litvinenko was a former KGB officer living quietly in London, writing books that criticized Vladimir Putin. On November 1, 2006, he met contacts at the Millennium Hotel for what seemed like a routine meeting. Within hours, he felt violently ill. Doctors were baffled as his condition rapidly worsened. His hair fell out in clumps. His immune system collapsed. His skin turned pale and lifeless. For 3 weeks, specialists ran every test imaginable but found nothing. Then came the shocking discovery. Litvinenko had been poisoned with polonium-210, a radioactive substance worth millions per gram. His killers had used nuclear material as a weapon. The radiation was eating him alive from the inside. On his deathbed, barely recognizable, he accused Putin directly of ordering his murder. He died on November 23rd, becoming the first known victim of nuclear assassination. The suspects fled to Russia and were never extradited, protected by the Kremlin. A message had been sent to all Putin critics worldwide.
Did you know a nurse risked everything to save her patients and ended up transforming an entire hospital? Sarah Martinez was making her usual midnight rounds when she noticed something troubling. Patients were crying in pain, begging for relief that should have been available. She checked the medication logs. The numbers didn't match what patients were receiving. Someone was stealing pain medication, leaving vulnerable people to suffer. Her colleagues whispered warnings to stay quiet, keep her head down. But Sarah couldn't watch patients endure unnecessary agony while she stayed silent. She gathered evidence for weeks, knowing her job was on the line. The confrontation with her supervisor was terrifying, but she presented her findings anyway. At the hospital board meeting, her documentation exposed the entire scheme. Today, she's head of nursing ethics, and her protocols protect thousands of patients. Sometimes doing what's right changes everything. Did you know a medical technician exposed a massive fraud scheme and got promoted for it? Worked at Westside Medical Clinic, taking x-rays for patients every day. At first, everything seemed normal. Routine scans, standard procedures. But then she noticed a pattern. Doctors were ordering unnecessary scans on perfectly healthy patients. A child with a minor bruise getting full-body radiation. An elderly woman with a headache receiving multiple CT scans, all to inflate insurance claims and boost profits. Sarah realized these patients were being harmed by dangerous radiation exposure, all for money. Her colleagues warned her to stay quiet or risk losing her job. But she couldn't watch innocent people suffer. She secretly documented everything, even as management grew suspicious. When she reported the fraud to the medical board, they immediately fired her. But the state health department hired her as a medical fraud investigator with double the salary. The clinic faced millions in fines, and her courage protected thousands of future patients. Did you know a janitor risked everything to expose a corporate conspiracy and ended up richer than the executives? Miguel Santos worked nights at ChemCorp, mopping floors and emptying trash bins to support his 3 kids. One evening, he overheard 2 executives discussing illegal dumping of toxic waste into the local river. Then, he found shredded documents in their office trash, piecing together evidence of massive environmental crimes. His hands shook as he photographed the papers with his phone. If caught, he'd lose his job and his family's only income. But children swam in that river every summer. He copied everything and called the Environmental Protection Agency. Within days, he was fired for performance issues. Months later, the lawsuit he triggered won $50 million. The court awarded him $2 million for his courage. ChemCorp hired him back as their new ethics officer, with triple his old salary. Sometimes doing right pays better than staying silent.